And now, Effective Communication with Phil Zeller, CEO, Dale Carnegie, Southwest Michigan.
So there I was just yesterday with a friend of mine. Hadn't seen him in a while. He gave me a call. He said, "Hey, can I swing by your office? I'd really love to talk to you." I said, "Absolutely. Come on by." So he stopped by, and you know when somebody really wants to talk, right? You've got people in your life that just really want to talk and they want to share something with you. And he was sharing with me some of the things going on in his life right now and just how little things were affecting him. And one of the things he shared with me that I want to share with you today on effective communication is how do we deal with things that are coming at us that we can't control and people are attacking us. And we're dealing with all this other stuff to begin with. And the last thing we have time for is somebody to attack us. And this is exactly what was happening to him. He was getting attacked. The gentleman, he volunteers a lot of time in life to helping young kids with athletics. He does a lot of coaching, and he coaches a lot of young people. And he's out there, and he's been doing this for years, and he's really passionate about helping kids and being empathetic. And as long as I've known this guy, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's a very loving individual. I actually joke with him. I said, You're a lover, not a fighter, dude. So good thing we're talking through this because he really cares. I mean, he deeply, deeply cares. He wants everybody to be valued, appreciated, respected, and he wants to keep the integrity of the game. So it's a balancing act as a coach to have to do that. You've got to keep the integrity of the game and the expectations of for the game, but you also have to balance the emotional behavior of the people. And after one of the games last week, he shared with me that a parent started just calling him a name, and it was a very offensive name. He took it as very offensive. When he shared with me what it was, it's offensive enough that I don't need to share it here with you today on the radio because it was offensive. And the person was purposely saying this about him out loud from the stands. And there was no evidence. There was nothing to back it up. It was just a really negative, derogatory comment that was being made. Now, the irony is that the coach, my friend, heard this, and he's like, "That's not me," thinking that in his head, "That's not me at all." And the person was just really trying to egg him on and try to pick in a fight by calling him this name. And there's really no purpose in that because the person is not in a position to have a conversation and actually create a winning outcome. And so I asked him this question. I said, "Well, it affected you. Why did it affect you?" He goes, "Because that's the dead opposite of who I want to be and who I am." He goes, "I would never, nobody who knows me would ever describe me like that." And I said, "Well, think about that. Let that soak in for a moment. You got to remember, this person is attacking you based upon their opinion of their thoughts of the way they look at the world, not yours. They don't know you. They haven't walked in your shoes for a mile. They don't know where you come from. They don't know what you've been through. All they have is that they're a hurt individual right now, and they're lashing out at you because they're unhappy, and they don't know how to communicate effectively with what they would like to see happen. So therefore, through their ignorance, they just lash out, which is a very human being thing to do. And you shared with me, which he did, that he was hurt by that. And I said, well, let's analyze why you were hurt. And the reason he was hurt was not because of what the person was saying, because he knew that wasn't him, but it's to think that this person would say this about him when this is not who he is. So now he's personally hurt in his own mind because that's not who he'd ever want to be. And you can see how this kind of snowballs, a snowball effect out of there when people take things that people say in a context in a way and they take it personally, and then it's based upon their own personality. And as we talked through it, and I said, did the person give you any evidence specifically of the behaviors that you've presented that would say that this is to be true? And they said, absolutely not. They were just yelling this derogatory comment at me. And I said, well, there you go. That's an emotional reaction of a human being. And human beings do that when they can't present a logical reason to create an outcome with evidence to make it better the way you would have liked to have the conversation go. And it didn't. It was just a personal attack because they're scared, they're fearful. So the challenge in this situation is we've got to remember this, folks. If we ever get down on our guard and we think it's okay to criticize, condemn, or complain about another human being, ask yourself, what emotion are you acting on when you do that? Is that emotion that you're proud of? Is that an emotion you want to tell your kids and your significant other? You're not going to believe the awesome thing I did today. I really hurt somebody. No, you would never say that. So remember, next time something frustrates you, seek understanding. Take the time to understand where the other person is coming from. If you really want to create a win-win outcome, slow down, ask questions, don't make attacks if you want to grow. Because if you don't, people aren't going to respect you. They're just going to write you off as you don't know what you're talking about. And we know that's not you or me. So make sure people take you seriously. Always talk it through, always seek understanding, and never attack people with negative comments. We're better than that. Now go make it happen.